Morning. Good morning to you and welcome. This is the Real Estate Wholesalers Club. I am Justin Chamness. Welcome to Saturday morning Shut Up Money Show. I haven't called it that before, but I think that's a suitable title for the Saturday morning live show is the Shut Up Money Show. We should start calling it that because it's all about getting you to that shut up money. I want to help you guys do that. And, I really, really do want to help you. And today I got something kind of planned that I want to share that I hope will enlighten you a little bit. I hope it will help you get more focused, help you be more on target with what you want to do, what you need to do, what your goals are. We are going to talk some about goals. We are going to talk some about planning your goals out. We're going to talk a little bit about what it takes, what the real numbers are, what the real targets should be. It's hard to come up with goals when you're first getting started because you don't know what the target really clearly is. And other than, get the shut up money, that's too vague, so I want to break it down where you can, create your own plan and make it an actionable thing. So that's kind of what my goal is for today. Feel free, guys, if you're out there in the internet world, I'm going to share this over to the group, and you guys feel free to participate as much as you want. Feel free to interrupt me, ask questions, tell your stories, your victories, maybe even a defeat if it's got a if it's got a silver lining or something. Be willing to share, guys, because we all learn when you share and when you care. So we're here to share and care today. All right, so I've got everything shared over to the Facebook group. Thank you for watching there, Joe and Ryan and some of the others that will inevitably join us. Thank you also, YouTube out there. Please like and subscribe. It's very important to us that you're partnered up with us in that way. It means a lot to us. I'd like to say that I don't check it as often as I do. Only about 75 times a day. Like and subscribe, guys. I want to know if the content's reaching you. If you like it, comment, put it in the chat. If you're here in the Zoom room or you want to be in the Zoom room, just visit www.zoomjustin.com. And that'll take you right here to the Zoom room with us. All right. So got that taken care of. All right. Let's dive right in. Topic of the day. All right. I'm going to switch over to screen share mode. I'm going to go to a whiteboard. And I'm not an artist, guys. I'm not an artist. Never have been. In elementary school, I barely passed art. My stuff got way too creative. Okay. I'm going to draw 4 mountain peaks here. Am I doing good so far? Donald thinks I'm doing okay, so that's good. Okay, yeah, 4 mountain peaks. Use your imagination here, but this is 4 mountain peaks, and really there are only 4 things that need to occur in your business as a real estate wholesaler. We talked about this a little bit in the VIP club, which you can join, by the way. Visit realestatewholesalersclub.com. You can find out more there. Super affordable, easy to get into. It's an accountability team. But we talked about this in our accountability session the other day, and that is the 4 mountain peaks of real estate wholesaling. What are the 4 mountain peaks? What are the 4 real things, the only 4 things that really matter, that really have to happen in order for you to get to your shut up money, okay? Or to keep getting to it, which would be great. Nothing worse than getting one deal and then not being able to do another for 6 or 8 months. Okay, so we talked about this in the VIP room, but for everybody's benefit out there in the real world, we don't who didn't get an experience with the VIP. Let's go over what the 4 mountain are. These are the 4 things that have to happen in order for you to get a check. in order for you to get paid. There's only 4 things that have to happen. There's lots of CRMs you could look at. There's lots of business card designs. There's lots of web pages, web services. There's lots of SEO. There's lots of Facebook ads. There's lots of text blasters. There's lots of ringless voicemails. There's lots of phone systems. There's lots of, man operated answering phone systems. There's all kinds of stuff out there. Stuff. Only 4 things, 4 events have to happen in order for you to be a success. What are those 4 events? We talked about them in the VIP. Somebody from the VIP, shout out one if you know it.
Getting leads. Getting leads.
Right. Getting leads. So I'm going to put that right there. That's mountain peak number 1. What's another mountain peak?
Conversion.
Right. Okay, make deals. What's another mountain peak?
Close the deal.
Marketing.
Yeah. All right. Advertising deals, we could say. You could word this in a different way, but you get the gist, right? Advertising deals. What's the last one?
Close.
Yeah.
Close the deal.
Right. Close them deals with the buyers or tenant buyers. In this case, it could be either one. So these are the only 4 things that need to happen in order for you to be a success at this business. 4 things. So here's a clue about the outsourcing 2.0 too. I've got a couple brand new courses, really, really moderately priced in my opinion. One's less than $100. It includes all the outsourcing stuff. This is how you would outsource your business. The 4 peaks. These are 4 little machines that all work together to produce one thing, right? So you've got a business, and your business as the business owner is to build these 4 little engines to climb these 4 mountain peaks. I can't get off into a different illustration with engines. I'm already locked in on the mountains. I can't draw an engine. Okay, but look at this. I can definitely draw a mountain. So there it is. According to me and Donald, this looks pretty good.
Hey, man. That's all you need. Sometimes simple is better.
Thank you, sir. 4 mountain peaks. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the mountain peaks. These are the 4 things that need to be done. And I'm suggesting that if you're focused on anything but these things, then you're probably coming short somewhere in your business. All right. Real simple concept. Now, I want to talk about something that's closely related. Big things. Goals. Okay. Do you know what they are? Do you know what your goals are? You might be saying, yeah, my goal is to get 1 deal a month, 2 deals a month. Okay. Those are big goals. And I don't mean they're big like in the sense that, it's like you're saying I want to be a billionaire or something. No, it's not like that. But it's a big concept. There's 4 things that need to happen in order for you to get to that deal. Okay, you see what I'm saying? So it's not enough for you to say, hey, I've got this big goal. I want to get to 4 deals a month. I want to get my first deal. Whatever the situation is, whatever your goal is, it's not enough to just have the goal. Okay. You have to break it down into smaller parts. Okay. So in order to break it down into smaller parts, you have to identify what those smaller parts are. Okay. So let's say, for example, here, the goal is to get 1 deal per month. That's kind of a big lofty concept. I want to get a deal. How do I get my first deal? How do I just get one deal a month, Justin? One deal a month could mean 10 grand to you. Okay. Let's just be super conservative and say one deal a month meant 5 grand to you. Is that life changing? Sure. For most of us out here in the real world, 5 grand is about our nut for the month. I mean, we could pretty much get by on 5 grand. So one deal, just one. But that's a big goal when you're looking at it. You're like, oh, how do I break it down? Well, you got to break it down. Yeah, that's for sure. You break it down into those 4 parts, smaller parts, which is get the leads, right? That's one part. What's the next part? The next part is convert those leads, right? What's the third part? Advertise those leads. Advertise those deals, that you get. And then the last thing would be is to close them buyers. That's how you break it down. It's just the 4 mountain peaks again.
Yep.
So pretty simple. Declutter your brain, right? Declutter your brain from everything except these 4 things, because these are the only 4 things that are going to help you get to your goal. They are the only 4 activities that will lead you in the direction of the goal that you have, right? So you have to focus on these 4 things. Now, that's not enough. I'll tell you, for me, it's not. You could say to me all day long, hey, here's the 4 things that really matter. Spend your time doing those. Yes, sir. I'm going to find a way to be distracted. I guarantee you. Okay. And that's just me. My story has been that I've my whole life have wanted to not be in a job situation. It's not that I don't like working. I don't mind jobs. I hate being stuck in a cubicle. Okay. I also despise hard manual labor. Okay. I have soft hands. Soft, weak. Don't I look so, like I don't look like I've ever held an axe handle or a shovel handle. I don't look like I've ever used a post hole digger. I have a few times, but I despise manual labor. So my whole life I've been trying to get out of the job scenario. I did not know what to do when I got out of high school. I'm 43 years old. I did not know what I wanted to do when I got out of high school. And so
hold on, Justin.
Yeah.
You're 43 years old and then you graduated?
Yeah. I got held back a couple times.
I was watching Jimmy Fallon the other night, and they did a Saved by the Bell skit with all the old cast members, and he came in there. That's kind of what it reminded me of. That was pretty funny.
I love Jimmy Fallon and also Saved by the Bell. So I'll have to look that one up. It's probably on YouTube. Yeah,
it's new. They just brought it out like maybe a week ago.
It'll probably be in my recommended because I watched that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, I graduated actually when I was 17 out of high school, nice. But I did not know what to do. And I was in one of them scenarios where the counselor from the school called me into her office one day and said, the guidance counselor. And she was like, Justin, what are you going to do after you get out of high school and when you graduate in May? And I was like, I don't know. I guess I'll go to college. Okay, what college you plan on going to? I don't know. Well, you better decide. And then you need to send applications to 3 of them because they might not all accept you. Okay. Well, she's like, also take the ACT. So I took the ACT, got like a horrible score. And I couldn't even, which meant I couldn't get into the university I wanted to get into. And then I wanted to take it again. So I thought, well, I don't need to study or nothing. I mean, I already know. I just took it, I know what it's like. I'll do better. No, I did not do better. I got the same score. So I shot myself in the foot. I just was making all the poorest decisions that a guy can make, really, at that stage in his life. Putting more emphasis on relationships and instead of doing the work of building a future, which is a thing that kids do. I got kids that are teenagers. And believe me, I pray about them. I worry about them. But I hope they don't make some of the same mistakes I made. But I guess long story short is I discovered real estate a few years after I got out of high school and was struggling. My brother had been doing some lease options, and I overheard a phone call that he had with a tenant buyer where he made $3,000. The tenant buyer made a $3,000 commitment over the phone to do the tenant buyer side of the lease option deal my brother had going. And I just started asking my brother, hey, what's going on? What's the story? How does this work? And so he broke it down for me, and it was an incredible enlightenment for me. I'd never heard anything like it. And so I started buying courses. I started doing everything I could to learn more and more and more. I got Ron LeGrand stuff. I bought Carlton Sheets. Anybody remember that cat from late night TV?
Man.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I had all that stuff, and then I was so lazy that I wouldn't even watch all the videos because, gosh, Carlton Sheets program was like, I think it was like 22 DVDs or CD-ROMs or something. And I was like, what?
It's like going to college, man, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I need the fast track because I'm lazy. 2, I'm not focused. And 3, I just need to get right to what is important. And this 22 is 22 CD, DVD, ROM, whatever it is. It was like, it's over. I was just done with it. So I skimmed through the manual. No kidding. Found a duplex in the newspaper in Wyandotte County, Kansas. Found a duplex. Called the realtor. Said, hey, I want to take a look at this duplex. I'm interested in it. She was like, okay, you got to go get qualified, pre-qualified. I'm not showing anybody any houses unless you're pre-qualified. Anybody ever heard that?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, so I wasn't excited about what I heard, but I went ahead and got in the phone book. That's back when we used Yellow Pages. Started going through the phone book and calling lenders and saying, hey, here's my story. Here's who I am. I want to buy this duplex, rent out the other half. Let them, pay the mortgage for me, all this. Oh, oops. Ain't got no credit at all.
Yeah. You don't know, what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah.
Right. So in a last ditch effort, I grabbed the manual from Carlton Sheets and I skimmed through the table of contents and I see at the very bottom, wraparound mortgage. And I said to the lender, I said, hey, what if I did something like a wraparound mortgage? I don't even know what that means.
Jeez.
That dude laughed at me and told me, he said, hey, listen, just slow down. You'll get there, but you got to establish a little bit of credit, get you a little credit card, pay it off every month, put your gas and groceries on it, pay it off every month. Do that 6, 8, 10 months, and then come back to me. Mm-hmm. See, he gave me good advice for what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really willing to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I really wanted to get after it right this minute. And so after
when you got an idea, if you don't act on it, right? Then you're like, man.
Yeah.
Then it goes to the wayside. So you're a doer, man. You're a creator. That's what it is.
Well, I appreciate that. And that is a quality that really has that I do have, but it's taken time for it to get refined a little and polished. I spent the next, and no joke, I spent probably the next 10 years still trying to figure out how to get around the credit thing because I did not want to go into debt for any reason other than an investment that I would make cash flow on or it would service itself. Okay. I don't know. I just had this lofty goal, but I had no real plan. I had no real breakdown of what I need to be doing to get there, and what I was being told I was unwilling to do. And so ultimately, for about 10 years, I spun my wheels. I got into wholesaling in between time. Started wholesaling these lease options because I heard my brother was doing it, and kind of fell in love with that. Okay. Later, I felt like I wasn't really a full blown wholesaler because I wasn't doing any ugly house stuff. So I became an ugly house co-wholesaler. And I thought, well, this is even easier in some ways than than the lease options, and in other ways not. And so, long story short, I've been in the position of having these big lofty goals and having spent years and years spinning my wheels trying to get some traction and just not getting it. The same brother that I have that I was telling you about that was doing some lease options told me one day, and I was riding around in the car with him, giving him my boohoo story. You guys got a boohoo story? Everybody's got a boohoo story, right? I was giving him my boohoo story. And he said, you know what? I don't want to say it because he uses special language, but maybe I should go ahead.
Say it.
Because he looked at me. He looked at me. I'm riding in the car and I'm telling him my boohoo story. And he looked at me and he said, you know what, man? You're fucked up. I said, why you say that? He said, what is it that you really want? And I said, well, I want this, I want that, I want this, blah, 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 on and on, and random, meandering. He said, okay, well, have you written any of that down? Do you have a plan on any of that? Because you realize that the life that you have right now that you're complaining about is a result of all of the things that you think, say, and do on a regular basis. He's like, and you want something different, but you're not changing anything in the minute day to day. He's like, start by just writing it down. Guys, that was probably the biggest mind bomb I've ever experienced, because I took him at his word, and I went home and I started writing it down. And you know what I found out? Writing it down is hard. It's hard because you're not clear on what you really want. At least that's how it is for me. It's still like that today. It's hard to go when I have my goal writing sessions. I'll sit down and it's not like I have a goal writing session scheduled for Thursday at 1 p.m. No, usually I'm sitting on the toilet, okay, with my phone. Nobody's messing with me. And I'm taking notes and doing some thinking and doing some planning, Hey, it's a great place to do it. But nevertheless, I started writing that stuff down. I'm sorry. What'd you say, Aluz?
I said, that's my point, please.
I get some privacy up in there, I'll tell you, for those of you who are people of faith, one of the best places really to hear from your creator is while you're sitting there. I'm for real. You're just going to waste the time?
Or the closet.
If you're like me, you sit there for 30 or 45 minutes doing what?
Leg cramps and everything.
Okay.
Multitasking.
So it's not like I have a goal writing session. I just take the time to do it. And it's not something I do every day. I don't need to write goals every day. But I need to know that at all times I have something planned. Are you going to plan? Here's what I tell my teens, like my kids. I'll say, hey, listen, if you don't control this right here, somebody else will, right? If you don't plan your life, someone else will plan it for you and you won't like it.
It's true.
So you got to plan it, right? You have to plan if you don't plan. Okay, so you got to start with the big goal. Okay, yeah, my big goal is to do one deal a month. Let's say. Now let's go back to that page. One deal a month. Okay, then there's only 4 things that really matter. That's getting the leads, converting the leads, advertising those deals, and closing the buyers. All right. Getting leads. Let's talk numbers. I want to talk numbers. Getting leads. In order to get one deal a month, you're going to need to do 1,500 scrapes. 1,500 a minimum. Okay. If you're doing scrapes on automated REI and you're pulling 250 every 2-3 weeks, you might get a deal every 90, 120 days. Okay. It's a bit of a numbers game, guys. Play the numbers smart. And I'm telling you what they are. Okay. If you have the goal of doing one deal or one deal a month, then you must have at least 1,500 scrapes if you're using automated REI. Now, just ballpark me, Michael Batista. What would 1,500 scrapes and text blasts cost me? Roughly about what? $50, maybe?
Sorry, I had the mic muted there. Let me see here. So 1,500 scrapes. Let me just pull up my
Because out of 1,500 scrapes, they're probably going to have about 750 texts. Is that right? That's been my experience.
Yeah, out of 1,500, what we do is we send out 1,500 texts, and then usually it's a 30 to 50% response rate on that. So, I mean, if we're translating it, what's that look like? 750 plus. Okay. Yeah, 2,250 in terms of text, and then of course you got your scrapes.
Okay.
Yeah.
My experience has been, not much. Is it going to cost? Like, we're talking less than $100. I had somebody ask me the other day. They said,
yeah, it's like $93, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Get this, Michael. This guy said, hey, I wanted to find out what's the real marketing costs on automated REI, because I'm thinking about taking out a big loan for $2 or $3 grand and getting started the right way with this. I laughed, man. Talk about a ginormous capital LOL.
Right.
I was like, yeah, what in the world do you think you need $2 grand for to run the automated REI for a month or two? Like, we're talking 93, 95, $100 a month to hit your numbers. Okay. To hit your 1,500 scrapes, to send your minimum of 750 texts. Okay.
Yeah.
In a month, or however often you want to get a deal.
Yeah, because out of 1,500, just to clarify, 1,500 scrapes, you're going to send out 1,500 texts. You're going to get back somewhere around 400 to 750 texts, maybe a little bit more. If you have a really good message and you use the mail merge technology, putting the address in there specifically stating. But yeah, put like 2,250 texts. Yeah, that should get you about 24 to 40 leads.
Yeah. That's the hardcore numbers. Now,
and like, because if I do 1,000, for example, just doing a blanket rent to own text, what I'll typically get is right around 30 to 50%. So let's just say 300 responses on the low end. I'm going to take the low end. Out of 300 responses, I've experienced about a 20 to 30% positivity rate. So out of 300 people, usually about 20 to 30 people will say, yes, I would consider rent to own. I might consider it. How much do you have down? Or maybe let's talk. That as long as they don't say no or don't say or just don't respond, I consider that a lead. So I mean, 60 to 90, 24 to 40 would be conservative. So
Yeah.
So you're definitely going to get that. That's
Yeah. I want to be conservative with this. Because I don't want anybody to think we're blue skying anything here. This is what it takes to get a deal. This is what it takes to get consistent with a deal. Okay. So if you want to do one deal a month, then you know that you're going to need to generate somewhere between 24 and 40 leads.
Mhm.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Okay. Now
Yep.
those are the real numbers. Okay. Some of those you're going to call, they're not even going to answer the phone. They're not going to call you back. Some of them are going to say no. Some of them are going to say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know what you were talking about. I'm confused." Some of them are going to be like, "Yes, yes, 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 yes." Okay. If you're generating 16 leads a month, are you hitting the target? No, you're not hitting the target. Okay. You're not going to get the one deal a month unless you get lucky. Okay. You're going to get one deal every couple months. Maybe one deal every 90 days. So these are some real targets for you on the smaller breakdown of your goal of getting one deal a month. Now, to convert those leads, these other two things, really, to be honest, we don't even have to mess with the advertising the deals and the closing of the buyers until we successfully accomplish getting the leads and converting those leads. Converting those leads is all about giving good phone and having great phone conversations, knowing what to say. And I'll make an offer to anybody out there that's listening. If you will go to realestatewholesalersclub.com and sign up for a one-on-one free session with me, just a free one, I'll give you the course Mastering the Phone. Okay. Remind me when you get me there though. Okay. Tell me how you want that Mastering the Phone. I'll give you the course on it. This is the closer's book. Okay. This is how you close deals, Mastering the Phone. So we also role play this in the VIP, that conversation. So everybody in the VIP here is getting better and stronger at converting those leads, but you got to get those leads and then you got to convert those leads. Everybody recognizes that. The 4 mountain peaks. So I want to show you one other thing here real quick. Oops, I got to share something different. A new share. Here we go. All right. Check this out. This is Trello.com. Okay. Trello.com. It's free. You guys know me. I recommend more free stuff than probably anybody out there in the whole world. I use a lot of free stuff because I'm a tight ass. Okay. I like to save. I like to see how much money I can make without spending money. Okay. Trello, though, it's free. You can upgrade, though. You can upgrade and get some premium features. But the fact of the matter is it's free if you just want to use it like I do. And it comes on your phone as well as your laptop. Okay. Check it out, guys. It's a simple CRM is really what it is. But here's what I use it for, and here's how I use it. I use it for a number of things, but this is one way I use it. You can see I've set up a board here. It's called the Daily Example. I have a board in my life just like this one. It looks just like it. Matter of fact, I copied it, except I erased all my personal appointments and details and stuff. I erased that so you can just see basically the outline here. But look, it says Saturday public live show. Okay, that's because I ripped this right off of my page. Okay, I got one that looks just like this. And you can see the very first column is I have a goal, right? Let's just say right there. Get one deal each month. I just wrote down a goal. How easy is that? Now you see, that's why I say sometimes I do this when I'm in, in the bathroom or whatever, because it's easy to do. I'm just sitting here. I'm on my Trello app, thinking through my goals, thinking through my, what it is that I want. I'm rewriting this. I'm replanning this. I'm rethinking this. Is this really what I want? Is this really truly what I want? It's okay to change your mind. You get more clarity on things. Okay. And then I have a plan. Okay. I write my plan down. What's so cool about Trello is you can add these cards as many as you want. And also I can move them around. I just swapped them. I can also move this one over here to here if I wanted to. I don't know that I want to, so I'm going to move it back. But I have my goals. Okay. Now I then have what's called a list for each day of the week. Okay. I even have some hours up there. You can do it differently. Do it however you wish. Okay. I have a weekly waiting room, and then I have my company passwords, tools, passwords, all that stuff, because, I want to find stuff in all the same place. If I forget a password for automated REI, I can go over here and find it. You know what I mean? Easy enough. All right. So if you're going to take the task of climbing the 4 mountain peaks, this is what I do to make sure I do that every month. Okay. Here's how I stay consistent. Let's just start here. I'm going to move Saturday to the end. Isn't that cool how you can drag and drop this stuff? So I'm moving Saturday to the end. Let's just start on Sunday. Sunday, that's the Lord's day, or that's a family day, or it's just a day off. Okay. It's whatever it is for you. Just for example, take Sunday off. This is your business. You don't want to work real hard, right? You don't want to work real hard. You want to take some days off. I want to take days off. So I always take Sunday off as much as I can. Okay. Monday. What did I put there? Run scrape on automated REI.
One thing too, Justin, real quick, I could just throw this here.
Yeah.
If you don't want to take up your whole Monday, because it takes about 24 hours, depending on what kind of data you're requesting. I mean, it takes just a couple minutes to queue that up on Sunday if you wanted to, and we have it ready to go for you on Monday. If you wanted to do it, I mean, it's probably 5 minutes to queue that up. So however you want to do it.
I just queued it up there on Sunday night. So now let's say I don't like doing it on Monday. I want to do it on Sunday. I just drop it over there. Boom. Now it's a Sunday task. Boom. Run scrape on automated REI. Now, if I run a scrape on automated REI, I know that I need to get, let's say, at least 366, right? Because I need 1,500 for the month.
Yep.
So each week I want to make sure I get 366. So if I'm doing my data counts and I'm coming up with 127, well, I might need to do a couple, because I need to hit 366 or I'm not hitting my targets. Okay. Now on Monday, what am I going to do? I'm going to order the text SMS blast. Okay. That's what I like to do. 24 hours later, the scrapes are complete. On Monday, I order the text blast. But I don't set it up to run a text blast on Monday. I set it up to run it on Thursday. Okay. Oops. Then I take a day off. Sometimes there's a follow-up call that needs to be made or something like that. But for the most part, I'll take a day off, and then I'll take another day off on Wednesday if I need a couple days off there. Why not? All right. On Thursday, my SMS blast goes out. So I know that I'm making phone calls on this day. right? I'm also going to do the same thing on Friday. This is a plan. On Saturday, I'm going to follow up with the leads that I just worked the 2 previous days before. 3 days. 3 days, right? And a couple potential follow-up days if I need them. And we're back to Sunday with a day off. I might run my scraper on Sunday evening or Sunday sometime. So now I know that I am on target with the lead production. Now, every week, these same events occur. Every week, these same events occur. Let's say I'm wanting to do something special. Okay, I can add a card here. It's not something I do every week, but it is something that I do from time to time. I'll put it in the weekly waiting room. So I won't forget about it. Oh, yeah. Oh, I could buy a list of vacant houses. You know what? I'm going to do some extra work this week. And on Wednesday, instead of having a day off, I'm going to go ahead and buy a list of vacant houses and skip trace that and get that ready to go. I'm just going to, supplement what I'm doing already.
One thing I want to
Okay.
throw in here too,
Yeah.
while you're on lists, over in the chat box, guys, I put really five different list types that you could ultimately look at. I don't know if you want to go over those as well, because I know obviously we do Zillow and Craigslist.
Where'd you put it at? Where are you talking about?
The Zoom group chat.
Yeah. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, for sale by agent, long days on market. Why don't you want to go through it? Just go through it with us, man.
Yeah, real quick. So for sale by agent, long days on market, that's really 90 plus days, right? That's ultimately what we're looking at. There's certainly motivation. And that's also where, if you think about it, the agent has pretty much done everything they can, if they're a decent agent up to that point to sell it. So now it's coming down the road here for the last 6 months. They don't do a lot of aggressive marketing on those properties. They just don't. We can get you the direct contact information for those. So that is definitely an interesting play and Justin, definitely share your experience on this too, and anyone else on the call. But I have made lease option offers through agents and I never hear back. I don't. Even though they're legally obligated to come to that seller with an offer, I just don't hear back. What is your thought on that, Justin?
It's a hit and miss. It's hard to say. Sometimes you have great success with realtors. Sometimes they're hungry. Sometimes they're not, man. Lately, realtors are kind of crazy. Some of them, and homeowners too. It's just that kind of market.
Yeah.
But things change.
Absolutely.
But it is a numbers game, guys, too. So if you're doing lists, the numbers are going to be pretty similar, really. I find if you're buying a good list, then you need to be interested in buying a minimum of 1,000 to 2,000.
Yeah, typically.
Don't buy a list of 100. Okay.
Yeah, I mean you can do it, but very very targeted. If you're doing that, but it's not something I recommend. Definitely about that 1,000 to 2,000 is a good starting point. But yeah, we can get you the direct information for the for sale by agent long days on market. Most people don't think about that. Another thing is the for rents. For rent by owners, I mean, you could go on Zillow and there's very few, but we can definitely find them. And also, a lot of those properties on Zillow are listed by property management companies. We can basically just get the direct contact information for those as well. Why not? It's entirely untapped market. No one's really doing that. So yeah, for rent by owners, they want to rent their property, they want a long-term tenant. Otherwise they wouldn't be a landlord. And hell, they might even want to sell, and they could have possibly had their property on market. So, but then they're left with no other opportunity but to call up a property management company and say, look, I need this mortgage covered. Right. So there's definitely motivation there. I didn't list it in here, but tired landlords. I know you talked about that on a previous video, Justin. So
Yep.
we can certainly market to that obscure list as well. Expireds are great. Expired listings, we can get that for you with with all the data skip traced. Craigslist for rent and for sale by owners on Craigslist. Of course, we can do that too. And really, lastly, Facebook Marketplace is kind of an obscure list as well. But we can skip trace those. All we really need to do it is a name and a location. So if I've got a person's name, putting a property for rent or putting a property for sale on Facebook Marketplace, I can get that. Now sometimes they're agents, and obviously there's a process with that, but we can look up if it is an agent that has a property listed, right? We can see what that property is, and then we can find the owner information behind the agent and skip trace it for you. So we're able to do a deep search. We're definitely able to expand your list. So if you want to be, and this is what's great about this, guys, is it allows you to operate more like a wholesaler. It allows you to be more anchored into one market if you want to, by having all of these extra lists, access to all these different lists.
Yeah, that first list, number 1, for sale by agent, long days on market. Guys, this is a pre-expired listings
Yes.
list. Okay,
Definitely,
so
definitely.
they've got it listed, but it's about to expire. Okay, they're frustrated. They're unsuccessful with the realtor.
Absolutely.
Do you think that sounds like a motivated list of people? Yeah, you bet. You're going to get decent results with a list like that. Number 2, for rents or for rent by owner, skip trace. Number 3, expireds, fully expireds. Craigslist for rent, Facebook Marketplace. That's incredible. Okay. The most important.
Through the sixth, just threw the 6th one on there on the chat if you want to copy it over. But yeah, tired landlords, all day long. We can do that.
Okay. All right. Tired landlords. Yeah. I'll throw that there.
Perfect.
There you go. 6 possible lists that you could be working in addition to just scrapes, alone. So definitely no excuses on coming up with leads nowadays. Let's just be honest. That excuse is bunk. Okay. For less than $100, you can produce enough leads for 1 month. All right. The most important thing that I want to accentuate here, though, is that you need to plug it into your life. Okay. Plug it into your daily life. If you do not remember I said your life today is the sum total of all your thoughts. That means your bad relationships, your bad income, your bad whatever it is, your debts, your whatever, your life, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, everything that makes up your life. When you think of your life, it is, they tell us, and I have to lean towards it being true, that it is the sum total of what you think and do and say each day. Right. So if you want a different result, you want a big goal, you want to get a deal each month, then break it down into a daily habit and write it down. Ultimately, that's my point. Write it down in small pieces. So now what we've done effectively here, right here, demonstrated in front of you, is a real simple technique of just taking a lofty goal and breaking it down into smaller parts. We have 4 things that need to happen in order to get to the goal. But beyond that, we've broken those 4 things down into daily habits. Okay. These are things that happen on a regular basis. Every Sunday, we run a scrape. Every Monday, we order a blast. Every Thursday, that text blast goes out and we start having conversations. Thursday and Friday. Saturday, we follow up. Okay. We have our days off. They're planned. We run it like a business. It has regular events that have to happen, and these happen regularly every single week. Now, I was doing real estate because my brother told me how it works. I bought all the courses. I was doing a deal here, doing a deal there. He told me, he said, hey, you're fucked up. You need to write some things down. Write them down. I wrote them down. I started writing them down, but then I realized it's not enough to write them down. I have to break it down into a daily thing. Okay. Because my habit is to not run a scrape. My habit is to watch Netflix on Sunday night with my wife and YouTube TV because 90 Day Fiance is on and I cannot miss that show.
I love that show.
Jeez.
So my habit is to not run a scrape.
Mhm.
And that's why I don't have any leads. That's why I don't have any deals. So I have to re-engineer on my life a little bit. So now every week on the same day at the same time, I run a scrape. I hit my numbers, 366 minimum scrape. Okay. Now, is that going to produce way more leads than I can talk to on Thursday? Remember, my SMS blast goes out on Thursday. Y'all know that little French phone I got? That little strange looking phone. It's ringing right now. It works, guys. It's strange. It's strange. It's a creepy thing when it goes. It's like I don't know who's calling it, but it's ringing. Okay. Anyway, yeah, break it down into a daily thing, guys. That's all you got to do. Break it down into a daily thing. Create a new habit on a regular basis. Now, to finish the story, I was struggling around. I was starting to write down my goals, but I still wasn't breaking them down into daily habits. And so I was going to the job every day. Now, I was lucky enough to have a decent job at the time, and I was making an okay amount of money, and I had a relative amount of freedom in the job. So I started playing around with real estate a little bit more and working on the machine a little more and getting focused more on those 4 mountain peaks and breaking them down into daily habits just like this. And then I taught myself so well, really, to do these 4 things during the week that I was able to outsource some of it. Okay. Next thing you know, I'm quitting the job. Next thing you know, I'm quitting the job and I'm free. Okay. Now I have a whole other set of circumstances to deal with because I'm working from home now, supposedly. But I realize that that comes as a double-edged sword. There's a lot of freedom. I love it. It's everything I've been wanting. But at the same time, it is also very trying. It causes me anxiety. I don't know what to do with myself. I am now picking on my wife more than I ever have before, and she don't like it. Why? Because I'm around more, right? So there's all kinds of things in my life have to start shifting and turning because now I don't have a job. And so I find that I get distracted, and guess what happens? A scrape doesn't get done because I'm busy watching Netflix, 90 Day Fiance or something. Okay. And then guess what? The text blast, oh, it's my business. I'll get it later. Next thing you know, you're broke again. And now you don't even have a job. Okay. Man, you want to know a guy who's learned it the hard way? I've made some knucklehead mistakes, guys. Knucklehead mistakes. I've got it all. I've lost it all. I've got it all back. I lost it all. Get it all back. Lost it all. Because I just make the dumbest mistakes. right? But now I've learned from some of them, and I'm telling you what they are. Get this routine down. And if you are unemployed from the job, this list is now your boss. I am introducing you now to your boss. This is your boss. If you want to be free from the job, if you want to quit your job, then go to work for the list. Okay. If you don't go to work for the list, then you ain't doing nothing. You're going to go broke. Okay. Get the list together. Get the plan together every week. The marketing happens here on like this. This is how it works, like clockwork, like a machine, like an unstoppable force, right? Now work for that. Now I have on my Trello board, personal Trello board, I have, just like I showed you, it looks just like that, except it's filled in for me. Okay. You fill one in for you. Now mine though, I have a limit on mine. I do 6 things a day. I have 6 things on my list every day that happen between 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. 11 a.m., 7 p.m. every day, which you saw on there. There's 6 events that happen. Now, how do I measure my productivity? If I work for the list, those 6 things better get done today because it's on the list to do. Okay. If I don't do these 6 things today, I might as well consider myself unemployed because I'm not even self-employed. I didn't even employ myself today. Think about it. So you work for the list. I work for the list. That list is my boss. I will do those 6 things. Come hell or high water, I will get them done. Oh, the kid had to go to the doctor. Oh, I forgot tonight is teacher parent conferences at the school. Oh no, I didn't remember. This is the anniversary of the day that we first met. Okay. Doesn't matter. Justin will get these 6 things done if it means I stay up all night long to do them. I'm committed like that, y'all. My machine does not hiccup like that. It does not hiccup like that. If it's supposed to happen on Monday, it happens on Monday. If it's supposed to happen on Tuesday, it happens on Tuesday. You can count on it. Probably never would I ever have a student that's a one-on-one coaching student of mine say, I had an appointment with him at 3, but he didn't show up. Never, ever. Why? Because that's on my board. And I will do the things that need to happen today. Okay, I know I'm preaching a little bit here, guys, and I'm sorry about that, but I really want you to get the concept of taking your large ideas and boiling them down to a daily habit, right? Get that marketing on a plan, set it and forget it, right? Set it up on Monday and then forget it. You don't have to, that's the best part. Once I've done it on Sunday night, I've set that scrape up. Once I've set that thing up on Monday, whatever the text or the scrape, whichever I've chosen, you set yours up the way you choose. Once you've done it, guess what? The rest of the week, you don't even have to think about that no more. It's out of sight, out of mind, done. I don't even have to think about it until Thursday again when I start seeing leads show up. Okay, now I go back to work because that's on my calendar for today. So, I will get that done today. I will get that done today. Now, I'm going to have more leads on Thursday than I can call. So I'm going to call a minimum of 5 conversations, not dials. I'm going to talk to 5 people. That's my goal. I'm going to talk to a minimum of another 5 the next morning and another 5 the next afternoon. Okay. So Friday, I'm going to be busy. That's okay. Because Saturday, I'm going to be following up and making money. Okay. Why? Because I'm hitting my numbers. Let's say I go a whole week and I didn't get a deal. It's okay because I know I'm still playing the numbers. I might be another week off before I get this deal, but I'm getting the deal because I'm playing the right numbers. I'm playing the right numbers. All right. Anyway, well, I hope that helped, guys. I'm done. We got a good crowd here today. Y'all are awesome. I love you.
Absolutely, man.
14 people. We got Donald, Michael, Aaron, Aluz, Charles, Debbie, Kelly, Kenny, Rick again, Rick again,
Rick's twin, man.
and Steven. So, guys, go get your Trello out. Go download the app from the App Store and get your plan together. Tampa, Florida. Man, there's a lot of people coming in from Florida lately. That's cool. Florida and California. What is it about the show here, the Shut Up Money Show, that draws the people from the East Coast and the West Coast? Well, it could be the Gulf Coast too, if it's Florida. But
yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying. What part of Florida are you in right now, Michael?
Southwest. I'm close to Tampa.
Yeah.
I'm about 45 minutes from Tampa right now.
Aaron wants to set up a consultation. You can do that, Aaron. Just go to realestatewholesalersclub.com, or I'll put it in actually, you can go to shutupmoney.com. Did you guys know that? We own shutupmoney.com now.
Yeah.
How fun. Shutupmoney.com.
That's funny. That's funny. All right, guys. So I redid this. It looks like there's 9 lists, 9 different types of lists that'll cater to lease options, owner finance.
Okay, let me
put it over
share
on the
this.
right there.
Let me share it, Michael, and I'll.
And if you guys can think of anything else that does cater to this, please let me know. You know, I'm only one guy, and Justin has shared some gold nuggets here with the tired landlords working with PropStream. I know you did that video. I didn't even think of that, you know.
Well, man, you know, it's not that I really, honestly, if you want to know the truth in that those videos are excerpts from the larger video that Burton did like a few months ago.
Oh yeah, I figured that.
I cut him up.
Did like an hour and a half or something on that.
Yeah. He went all in for like an hour and a half, and there's no way to keep up with him mentally, man. I mean, I couldn't. So what I ended up doing is just breaking it down, because I've been making these 2.0 course videos. So I broke it all down into like 18 videos to give me some content. So I would have an easy upload on YouTube while I'm over here making courses. Does that make sense? You guys see this? I got it up there. Are you there, Michael?
Yep. Sorry about that. Yeah. So I'm taking a look at this. Like you said, 9 different list types that I can think of here collectively through all the different platforms that we operate with. If you guys think of anything else that leads back to some sort of motivation, I mean, obviously we're not targeting vacants. We're not targeting different things. And those could certainly turn into lease options too. You know, if you look at if you look at low equity, vacants, that could be another obscure list. There's not really a lot of people focusing on those.
Yeah.
Because most wholesalers don't know what to do with that. You know, they're looking for the 60 cent on the dollar properties.
You know what I would like to do, Michael?
What's that, man?
We'll get some input from the people here in the Zoom room. Everybody's so dang quiet today. Like I feel like I got up on my soapbox and I derailed a minute, and like everybody's like, "Wow, this guy's off his rocker now." And
we're just letting you talk.
Just letting this guy bloviate about whatever. What the hell's he even talking about? I don't know. What? Somebody get me another bowl of cereal.
Yep.
I'm gonna turn the camera off and go jump in the shower. Okay. Let's, Michael, what I'd like to do, man, is honestly, sometime soon, maybe you and I get together and do a video that's just on this one topic right here, the best list for lease options.
Absolutely.
Because I've had some people recently ask me about that, and they'll say, what's the best list? Well, you ask me off the cuff, I'll give you 2 or 3 answers of some things I like, but a real good exhaustive explanation of here's several lists of everything we can think of that does work. That does, I don't use them all at one time.
Yeah, and no, and the same thing. Wholesalers, they're not gonna hit every list at the same time. They do one at a time.
No. So
Right.
pick and choose, but be consistent with your marketing, guys. It's so important.
Mhm.
So important. The tortoise and the hare. The guy that wants to borrow money and drop $2,000 or $3,000 on some brand new postcard design.
Sure.
To me, it just seems nutty. I mean, I'd rather spend a little bit of money and do a consistent thing than to try to do something big and expensive that I can't keep going. So important. They say to not start any marketing plan that you can't continue for at least 6 months, guys. All right.
Right.
Think about that. Are you going to have enough money in the till to do 6 months of postcards? If you're doing a minimum of 2,000 a piece, you're going to spend about $1,000 every time. You better have $6,000 in the account just sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
Or you could be, choosing different marketing techniques like what we talk about here creatively, using automated REI, and you could have just as much and more success really with like less than $100.
Yep.
Oh gosh.
Absolutely.
To me, it's a no-brainer. Yeah, go on, Rocky. What you got, man?
Hey, I was late getting on here. I was at a kids basketball game. Like, how many, like, if you're doing the texting with the REI automated, like, how many texts do you should you have in your database, like 10,000, or like how much should you be striving to get in your database, and how often do you come back to, like, if you text them like this month, do you text them next month or 3 months?
Yeah. That's a great question. I'm going to share the screen and we're going to go right over to the automated REI, and I'm going to show you. I'll just show you. I'm going to sign in real quick. And honestly, you need to get 1,500 scrapes in a month, or for every deal that you plan on getting, 1,500 scrapes. And then you're going to want to do, the text blasting that corresponds with that. And that's what we're talking about, being less than $100. But that's the target number, 1,500 scrapes. I'm on the Zillow scraping page right here. I'm going to click the filters button. Guys, if I'm trying to stay, okay, hold on. I'm going to back out of here. Let's say I'm going to stay in my market area of Kansas City, Missouri. You might pick your market area, wherever that is. But I'm going to come down here to filters, and I'm not going to run just nothing here. I'm going to do 50,000 to 149,999. Okay. Now, that way, week 1, I'm going to get every property deal that I can get. Hopefully, I'm getting the full 366, which is my minimum, remember, of scrapes that I want per week. So I'm going to get 50,000 to 149, just in that price range. I'm looking for 366. Okay. I'm going to come up here and fill in the rest of my filters and whatnot, but I'm going to do that price range. Now, the next week, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do 150,000. And then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to do 249,999. Now, when I run this blast, I'm not going to get any of the people that I got last week.
Yeah.
Because remember, last week, they're in a completely different price range. I'm looking for another 366, and these will be a completely different 366. And then the third week, you can just follow along. Obviously you figured out the pattern already. The third week, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do it from 250 to 349,999. And I'm going to try to get 366 scrapes out of that price range. Okay.
Can I ask you a
And I might
question real
have
quick?
yeah, go ahead, Rick.
Hey, Michael, you see on the drop down where it has like the minimum and the maximum price and how there's preset dollar figures in there? Does the system read it? Does the system read it if people type in just off that chart, like 35,999 and you know what I mean? Does the system pick that up, or does it have to be part of the drop down?
Yeah. So where you're actually typing, it's one to one. It's 1 to 1. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yep. So you're not a problem. So if you type in an obscure number, it'll still, it's actually a mirrored system, just like you were on Zillow, if that makes sense. So if you go on Zillow and you type in an obscure number, it's going to pull up a certain list. This basically taps into that. I mean, that's really what it does. So yeah, it translates perfectly.
Okay, so minimum and maximum price, you could type in whatever you want. You don't need the dollar sign or nothing else. It will pick it up.
Correct. Just a flat number. You don't go up with the dollar sign. And then Justin, if you want to kind of explain why we do that as well, just so they understand the total amount of listings. We can talk about that.
Yeah. The automated REI will grab from Zillow. Okay. For example, let's just go to Zillow, and I'm going to put in here all of Kansas City, Missouri, since we're using my location just as an example. And you can see it pulls up Kansas City, Missouri here on the map, but it also pulls up a number of results and listings. Okay. Now these are automatically volunteered by Zillow. Okay. Nobody tells Zillow what to do. They just decide which houses they're going to put out here. And so, you can filter these on Zillow yourself, a certain, the same way you can on automated REI. But Zillow is going to only produce, typically about 500 listings out here showing 500. See, it says showing 500 of 1,724 results. So they're only showing 500. So automated REI will filter out the way you want it to filter, but then it'll grab the 500 that Zillow offers. Okay. So that's why you get, when you run your scrape, you'll get 500 maximum rows. Okay. Well, your goal really for the week should be at a minimum of 366 we were talking about. So, it's possible to get up to 500 per scrape. So when we're talking about doing by price ranges, we're talking about getting up to 500 in each price range.
Yeah. And that's just a Zillow limitation. That's all they put on their site.
Yeah. And there's nothing that automated REI can do differently that will make that any better, because that's just how Zillow operates, guys. So that's my understanding of it.
Are the Zillow leads better than the leads that we pull like on the list pulling? Is it about the same quality? Like as far as like sales?
Sorry about that, guys. Just drank some coffee here and went down the wrong tube there. So Zillow leads, you're able to pull for sale by owners on Zillow. We can pull the for sale by agents as well, which that directly taps into the MLS. All of the for sale by agent properties, because they're like the #1 real estate website, period. I mean, they're even quite a bit bigger than realtor.com even. So that's why we pull the data off that. Now, if you do want to, like I said, if you want to skip trace and pull the lists on the for sale by agent, and again, I mentioned here long days on market, right? We can absolutely do that. Get you direct contact information. You make a direct offer to the owner. I mean, if there's an agent involved, any commission that the owner has worked out with the agent is between them and it has nothing to do with you. So now, one thing, just keep in mind, guys, that really probably only applies to expired licensed agents and people that aren't licensed at all. So if you're licensed, then you probably do have to go through an agent to make an offer. Just keep that in mind.
And I had another question about like, say like a property value. I was looking a lot through like prop stream and different things about house values, and
right.
A lot of them show the top of the market, and a lot of them are underwater, like already, yeah. Like and like there's supposed to be like the market's supposed to maybe coming down a little bit. How do you position yourself to like not to get into something that's going to go down in value, where like we might be like hopefully not stuck in type of deal like that. But
yeah. So when you're doing a lease option assignment, that's not something that you would have to worry about so much. So I honestly, I wouldn't even give that much thought. As long as you're not selling significantly above what the property is worth, you could still move it on a lease option. You still could.
What's the typical? Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
But I mean, if you're starting to get, I would say more than 10% above market, and that's with your fee tacked in and all that stuff, then it's going to be more difficult. Buyers in the lease option space, and Justin would certainly agree, they're not as picky on price, but the rent is the most important thing for them, the rent cost, because they're still, yes, they do have buyer mentality in a sense, but they're also payment sensitive. So there's a balancing act for sure.
And what's the typical fee on a wholesale lease option?
Justin, what are you thinking here? Because it's gonna fluctuate based on values of the property, but I'll let Justin kind of go over that.
Yeah, typically 3 to 5%, Rocky. Typically 3 to 5% of the purchase price will be cash to you.
And I have a question about inside the automated REI. When I was trying to do it the other day, when you line up their phone numbers, they don't line up completely. Like when you're choosing it in your option, like you upload your list and then you're choosing like telephone number 1, the cell phone number or wireless. Sometimes the boxes don't line up. It's like, am I choosing the right, and I tried using a piece of paper, trying to make it go across the seat and counting the boxes. And one day it didn't line up. Like when there was 19 on this side and like 20. And I just have one question about the automated REI. When you're actually sending the message, it gives you the option to do a pre-set message, but then also like to put a custom thing. And the first couple hundred texts I sent out were a disaster. They're like, "Oh, can you read?" I was like, "What do you mean?" And I looked at the message, and it like combined them, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
So it didn't go through right, or kind of, it can get tricky because what you're doing is mail merge. If folks aren't picking that up, so he's using the mail merge technology. What that is actually supposed to do is, he can say, "Hi, my name is John. I'm an investor," however you want that message to sound. But the point is, you could introduce your name, you could say their name, and it should ultimately read the list perfectly, going through, "Hi, John, my name is Michael," right? And then it also will grab the address specific for that property and put in the address. So the owner knows that you are writing directly to them about their property, rather than just sending a blank generic text message. So it's more personal. Your response rates will go up because of that. So it sounds like something happened. Maybe it wasn't inserted right or whatever. But we can do some additional training with you, Rocky, and make sure you're not experiencing that issue. we can do like a screen sharing session and help you get all that handled if we have not already done that.
You're not going to find any support team on any other platform that cares more and will do more hands-on, one-on-one help. It's obscene, guys. What Tusif and Michael are willing to do to help you guys if you just let them know. They'll practically bend over backwards and kiss their own arse for you if they can, if it'll help you. I mean, they're just good guys. Don't abuse them. They're not your virtual assistant, but they will straighten you out a little bit on what's going on.
Right. We can definitely help with any training. That's not a problem. We're doing a lot of updates to the website, and here pretty quickly those updates will be hitting, and a lot of new videos are going to hit the site as well. I know folks have been asking for some stuff, so looking forward to that. But as far as the text is concerned, yeah, it just sounds like that got messed up in some way, shape, or form, and we can get that straightened out. That's not a problem, Rocky.
Yeah, I think I got it down now, where it wasn't the default message with the custom message. And like when you're texting the people, is it better to ask them like if they want to sell their house and leave it kind of vague, or do you split test messages for like different categories?
Yeah, it's an interesting thought. How I typically do it is I just say, hey, saw your house on Zillow, saw your house on Craigslist, whatever. I usually name the source if it's on market, and I'll say, I was wondering if you would consider doing a short-term rent to own. If you would, I'm definitely interested. Let me know. Thanks. So that's very generic. You could introduce yourself as Rocky, and if you know the owner's name, let's say like you pulled Craigslist and the name was on Craigslist, you could say, hey, John, my name is Rocky. I saw your house on Craigslist. And if there's an address, we can pull the address field, throw it in there for you with that mail merge. Saw your house on Craigslist on 101 Oaks Lane, right? I was wondering if you'd do a rent to own or short-term rent to own. If you would, I'm definitely interested. Let me know. Thanks. And that's really all we're trying to do is just get a response. They might say yes, they might say no, they might tell us to go to hell. Doesn't matter as long as we get a yes or no. It's the ones that don't respond. That's kind of where it's tricky. You could extract that list and do a further follow-up campaign if you wanted. But here, typically what we teach is just focus on the low-hanging fruit for now. And if you need to start doing more follow-up and more marketing to those, then obviously you could. But we just focus on the low-hanging fruit typically.
On the list polling, it says that you recommend 35% equity or something on the lead, but on a lease option, they could have low equity or hardly any or no equity, and we could still do a lease option, right?
Absolutely, and that's part of. Sometimes if you look at a listing like on Zillow and you see the property has been on Zillow for 120 days, so you do a little bit of a deeper search, you'll say, okay, I'm seeing that they're asking 200,000. They have it listed with an agent, but it's only worth, or actually you could see on PropStream how much they owe. Maybe they owe 190, right? They don't have an opportunity to take less than, basically what they're trying to do is just walk away clean, wipe their hands and walk away, right? That's a beautiful scenario for you to help that person and make some money. You see what I'm saying? Because once the agent takes their commission, that'll probably be about 10K, plus, closing costs and all that stuff. That's about $10,000, right? So they've basically just had enough to cover their loan and walk away cleanly. But a lot of times you'll see those long days on market just because they don't have an opportunity to take an equity hit because it's not there. So something
Great
to keep in mind.
Great questions, Rick, and great questions, Rocky. Thank you. I want to read a couple things real quick out of the chat. Craig says that those prop stream excerpts are gold. Well, hey, I'm glad you liked them, man. Joshua Long, I'm calling 100 tired landlords today, and later this evening, I'm calling Justin and crying. As well, you should, sir, because there is a smarter way to go about it. All right. And I could clue you in. So when you're ready, schedule an appointment with me and I'll straighten you out. All right. He says he's going to make some calls for sure. Okay, guys. I did, if you're in the Zoom room, I put a link to a course that I'm giving you right now today. If you don't have it already, many of you do. I know some of you do not. It is the Mastering the Phone to Get Deals course. It is a free course I'm giving you today. If you're in the Zoom room, get it right there in the chat. All right. Any other questions before we sign off today? I don't want to belabor you guys and wear you out. I know we go long sometimes, and God bless you for staying around. And thank you for participating. Thank you for listening to me just on and on. But hey, go get your Trello out. Go get your Trello. Okay, somebody wanted to know if you can send documents and agreements like the seller flex option agreement memo. If you can send that out like with Trello. No, you need another program like an email signature program like .loop.com or DocuSign, HelloSign, any of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Any other questions out there, guys? Anything for me or Michael Batista before we go? Great having you on here today, Michael, too. Thanks for joining us, man. It was kind of a surprise, but you're here, so I'm glad.
No, man, I try to jump on every once in a while when I got some time here, and happy to help out any way I can.
Hey, Justin, I saw you in front of a Bentley. Is that your Bentley? I saw one picture. You're in front of a Bentley. I was like, man, that guy's got a Bentley. I'm like,
in fact, that car is not mine.
Okay.
Not mine.
I thought, he's balling big. Yeah, he's rolling in a Bentley. I was like, wow.
Man, I live in the real world with real people. Okay. Yeah. So like I drive a normal car and live in a normal house. I have a normal ex-wife. I pay normal child support. Okay. I pay the normal everything. I'm just normal. I'm free. Although that's my claim. If I have one claim to fame, it's that I'm free. I don't have to go to the job. I don't have to check in anywhere. I don't have to do anything that anybody tells me to do. I can make my own time on my own schedule. I work for the list now. I don't work for the boss. The list is my boss. So yeah, that's really what makes me different, I guess. I'm not wealthy, rich. I'm not Grant Cardone yet. I'm not anything like that yet, but I'm working on it every single day. So, that's the honest to God truth. I work very hard because I like it.
Did you work for the list? You mean your email list?
No, I work for the list, my to-do list every day on Trello. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
So I get those 6 things done every day. I have 6 events that have to happen every single day, and they will happen. Come hell or high water, I will get them done.
And then do you load up, they come with email addresses. Do you load those in the get response off the records that are pulled? Or is that only for like buyers lists, like the get response?
Yeah, I use get response for the buyers list building. I have a great email list. And so that's where it's all kept and stored. And that's how I market to them. And also it provides me with a few other perks I like. Like it gives me some landing pages. So some like web pages. So I can set them up myself if I want to make something real quick for a cash buyer or for a tenant buyer or for a seller or for whoever. I can just make a quick landing page. Now I got a little website. So nice. It does a number of things for me pretty cheaply. I recommend a few tools for everybody. If you're going to really do this business right, do it. You're going to use the automated REI. You're going to use the get response for your cash buyers emails and stuff. and you're probably going to use something like maybe a rental meter or maybe a prop stream or something to fall back on for comparables and things like this. But besides that, man, there's really not a whole lot to the machine. Not a lot of tools. There is another tool I use called 1 Minute Leads. I think Automated REI is even building something like that. So we'll do away with that eventually and just go with what they got. So
Right.
so it's really not complicated, and there's only 4 events that have to happen for you to be successful. We talked about that earlier. So don't complicate it, guys. Break it down, make it happen this week. Okay. Join our VIP. Then we'll see you on Wednesday nights. It looks like I'm getting a message from somebody here.
Someone was asking me too a question. I can go over that. They were asking me about some of the new systems. Is that what you got, Justin?
No, this is a different one, man. But go ahead. I'm answering this one. It was a private message about the course that I'm giving away. It's so go ahead and answer yours.
Awesome, man. So someone was asking Michael. Michael was asking me here, when will the new CRM be available? So we got a CRM coming, guys. It's it's going to function a lot like a program that I really like called Lion Desk. Okay, and basically what it's going to be entire lead management system that'll handle autoresponders, drip campaigns, all that kind of stuff. So that'll all be integrated within the platform. So you won't have to go out and get another CRM or anything like that. It'll just be right here. Also, ringless voicemail is coming this next month too, and we're also dropping an Android and iPhone app. So you can do it. You'll be able to handle everything right from your phone, if you want to do that too. So we've had a lot of requests over that, but really excited to be furthering the development. So again, as always, feedback is certainly welcomed. I've tried to build this right around everyone's feedback. I certainly do take that to heart. Justin has been a fantastic resource for me. He's given me a lot of points, a lot of things to add on, but between Justin and I, we're only two heads. So, with his student base, anyone that's throwing feedback my way, I definitely do consider it. So
it's you guys. It's all you guys. Hey, love you guys. When Michael Goolsby or Alous or Rick,
are you a real estate investor
or Debbie or somebody gives us a tip or says, hey, how can we blacklist something? Okay, well, that's a tip. Okay, they listen to that stuff, they write it down, and then they break it down into a thing that they can build. I got another question here. Where is it, man? I forgot what it just blanked, and I don't know where I saw it. But anyway, okay. Anybody got anything else? Anything else for
not me? Not I.
Okay, me and Michael will get together and we'll do a video on best lists for lease options. We'll break that down, guys. That'll be a great one. I'm looking forward to that, Michael.
Yeah, me too, man.
Anybody that's interested in one-on-one coaching with me for the remainder of this month, I will make it fit your life and your budget, whatever that means. Okay, so get on my calendar. I'll make it fit. Okay, I want you to get what you need. I'm here to help. I want to help. Schedule with me. Okay, like and subscribe. RealestateWholeSalersClub.com. Anybody got anything else? I love you all. Thank you, Alous. God bless you, Rocky, Michael, Donald, Michael, Charles, Kelly, Debbie, Rick, Stephen, Aaron, Rick, Corell. I hope I said that right. Charles, Tim, and the list goes on and on. We'll see you next week. Love you guys. Hey, be a success this week. Make a big difference in your own life this week. And we want to hear about it. We'll see you. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks, guys. All right. Bye-bye.